Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. First of all, apologies. We ran a little bit late. Sorry about that. But thank you for being patient. Today I'm very excited today. Very excited. Because it's Vaisakhi. It's Easter. It's the Jewish Passover, I think. What a beautiful weekend. And this time, to be able to spend the weekend at home in lockdown. So our motto becomes, our slogan becomes even more appropriate. If you can't go out, go in. But imagine what sort of imaginations you're going to have for the Christians about Easter, Passover for the Jews, and for us, what an exciting, this is the most important day in the Sikh calendar. And that's not only because Sikhs got their identity as a global community, identity as you see us, but also there's belief by those who do research that actually Guru Nanak, the founder of our faith, was also born on Vaisakhi. The traditionalists like to celebrate it in November, and as far as I'm concerned, hey, 2 celebrations are better than 1. I do it now with Vaisakhi. I remember Baba Nanak, and then I do it with everyone else who wants to celebrate it in November as well. So it makes no difference to me. Vaisakhi, of course, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, 4 Sahibzade were there, and all the stories, if you want to hear the stories about Vaisakhi and Khalsa Day, there are many portals on which you can get all the information, especially SikhNet, because SikhNet is the oldest Sikhi portal that we have. And again, I'm very grateful to them for giving me this opportunity of reading through the chapters of my book. And so we shall now start with chapter 7, Sikhing Success and Happiness. If you can see that, chapter 7. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. Relax yourselves. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Breathe deeply. I'm trying to relax myself because I have been running around, so forgive me.
So what happens when the grandson's here?
Yes, my grandson happens to be here, so he really puts us through the loop. So, Ao, Vaheguru, Satnam, Satnam, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Chapter 7. Chapter 6 was also about Santokh, about genuine contentedness. Not contentedness because you are ready to take it on as happy even though you haven't achieved everything. No, Santokh is different. Santokh is a platform on which to achieve greater things. That is really what genuinely Santokh means. Chapter 7 is about, again, 3 of my favorite topics. First one is Chardikala. Chardikala means optimism, always in an optimistic state. Amritvela. Amritvela has been described as the time just before the sun comes up, dawn, when the nectar descends. The most peaceful time of the day is dawn, where everything is asleep and slowly the trees and the birds and the animals slowly start getting up. And if you are in a beautiful place, you can hear the crow of a cockerel as well. That beautiful moment, which a lot of us seem to miss out on, Amritvela, is very, very important. And the third one is Anand. I mentioned yesterday, Anand, very in simplistic terms, it means bliss. But as we go through this chapter, you'll understand that it's a little bit more than bliss, really. All right, let's go. Chardikala, first subsection, living in optimism. It's a saying in the Sikh Ardas, the last tense, the last sentence. In fact, I personally think it encapsulates what Sikhi life philosophy is about. Nanak naam Chardikala tere pane sarvata pala. 4 different phrases in that one sentence. It's the concluding statement of the Sikh standing liturgy, the Ardas. Nanak says, grant me ever-present remembrance of your name. Let me always be in an upbeat state of mind. Grant me the fortitude to accept your will. And may there be, by your will, goodwill towards all humankind. These are the 4 phrases. Chardikala means a mental state of ongoing optimism. That while there is life, one should always be in a cheery, high-spirited, upbeat, progressive, and forward-looking disposition. Hence, always happy. It is an ever-present, positive, buoyant, and optimistic attitude to life and the future. A Sikh blessing is be in Chardikala. It reflects an eternally upbeat and blissful mental state, whatever the circumstances. The circumstances are the will of God. Hukam. A Sikh believes unquestioningly and cheerfully accepts the will of God as being in the best interests of the bigger picture. Akal Murat. Even if it sometimes brings severe hardship upon the individual in the present moment. This cheerful, unquestioning acceptance of the will of God helps one to sail through the trials and tribulations of life. This also includes going to the aid of others in need. The belief is that if one accepts the will of God cheerfully, then one cannot be defeated in life. Tera pana meetha lagay, naam padarth Nanak mangay. I accept your will in a cheerful state of mind. All I crave is the gift of your constant presence within me. Try remaining in a state of Chardikala and see the positive response of those around you. The energy force around you too interacts positively towards your cheery nature, and positive bounty flows into your life. When you are ready to be positive and remain in a state of giving, all good things flow towards you. This is the force and power of Chardikala. Positive language plays a very important part in this process. Our mother language, Punjabi, is generally upbeat. In fact, a group among Sikhs called the Nihangs, who were the militant arm of the Sikhs in the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, and still exist wearing huge dark blue or orange saffron-colored turbans, generally blue uniforms called bana, and carrying weapons, have made a complete language, Gadgaj Bola, language of thunder, out of this positive attitude to life and general irreverence to suppression and tyrannical authority. Even their names are of this upbeat and positive nature. Bijli Singh. Bijli means lightning. Dharti Hala Singh. Earth shattering Singh. Dilli Tod Singh. Crusher of Delhi Singh. Jang Bahadur. Brave in war Singh, and so on. To break down the fortress doors of Delhi means to go and ease oneself. A donkey was referred to as the police station chief, Thanedar. Stale bread is referred to as sweet bread, mithe prashade. A Nihang refers to himself as being 125,000. If ever asked, and how many of you? The answer invariably is Sawalak. A cockerel was referred to as a Qazi, a Muslim cleric. The Muslim clerics were responsible for drumming up antagonism towards Sikhs during Mughal times in India, leading to many atrocities against us. Every adversity is seen as a blessing, since Vaheguru knows best. They left outcomes in the hand of God and went about their business in a cheerful manner, whatever the circumstances. Hence, the formal Sikh greeting, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. The Khalsa belongs to God, victory belongs to God. It reflects this conviction that everything including victory belongs to God and according to His will. Allow me to repeat a saying that I have mentioned before. Be careful what you think, your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words because your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions because your actions become your life. There is therefore a strong link between your thoughts, your words, and your actions that make your life. If within your thoughts you can plant the seeds of Chardikala, your life becomes upbeat and positive, leading to happiness. So happiness through Chardikala is the ability, firstly, to strive for fulfillment and then staying in an ever ascending optimistic state of mind, teaching oneself how to find internal detachment from materialistic gains and overwhelming human relationships, which can sometimes become obstacles in one acquiring a state of everlasting bliss. This does not mean shirking one's responsibilities or what we call dharma, worldly duties. It means minimizing one's responsibilities and gaining emancipation. Sikh life philosophy frowns upon otherworldliness or renunciation, but it encourages one to find internal detachment within attachment and pursuit of materialistic progress. Let me repeat. It encourages one to find internal detachment within attachment and pursuit of materialistic progress. This allows one to lead a full life with all its materialistic trimmings, yet always remembering that all this is transitory, even including life as a human being. One must strive for materialistic progress and achievements, remembering that the ultimate truth is the reality of life and death, which means leaving all materialistic achievements, including power, fame, and fortune behind. However, we do believe that the service one has carried out unto humanity and this planet and the constant awareness of Vaheguru Naam is the only carry forward into the realm of truth after death, whatever that state is. It's beyond the limitations of our intellect. Sikhism is not against human relationships either. In fact, a Sikh is urged to get married and raise a family. But it stipulates that one should be able to find a state of detachment from overly close and possessive, toxic relationships. To constantly remember that one came into this life alone and one leaves alone. Also to remember that the offsprings that one raises do not belong, but are free spirits put in one's care and guardianship, to be brought up and allowed their freedom to pursue their destiny, their own karma. Finally, the ability of being happy lies within us. But first we must understand what happiness is, otherwise it will elude us. The man working in a factory longs for the day he can retire and go fishing daily. When he retires and gets bored of fishing daily, he misses being back at work and the companionship of his workmates. Too late. Happiness eluded him because he did not understand that happiness was always there for him. Happiness is not something one can get into the future. Happiness is now. It is up to the individual to find it within. In fact, it is a known fact that most retirees die within a few years of retirement. So whatever you do, do not retire. Ultimate happiness is therefore acquired through a tranquil state of mind and willingness in wanting to be happy, starting right now. We have a tendency of allowing adverse and negative emotions of what we need or want to suppress the joy and gratitude of what we already have. Chardikala rectifies that. So remember Chardikala when the desire for something you need or want overwhelms you. Neutralize that feeling with heartfelt gratitude, a state of thanksgiving for what you already have. Remain positive and upbeat at all times. That was about Chardikala. Now let's talk about Amritvela, dawn. Happiness is a bright, fruitful dawn. Amritvela Sach Now Vadiyai Vichar. Guru Granth Sahib Japji Sahib, page 3. Dawn is that ambrosial period when you recite, remember, and praise the Creator for all that you have been gifted with and contemplate His attributes. Dawn is considered a very important time of the day in Sikhi. It is called the time of nectar, Amritvela. Today's urbanized living generally means late nights leading to tired mornings. Yet dawn is the period when human beings are at their most creative and inspirational. My father used to say, if you save the dawn, Amrit Vele di Sambal, he used to call it, so to speak, the rest of the day becomes fruitful. If dawn is spent in bed or one gets up into the day, tired and listless because of a late night, then the day is just frittered away. One's life is being frittered away. It is now in vogue to state whether one is a morning person or an evening person. Rather than changing our sleep pattern to optimize our day, we give ourselves justification not to break a bad habit by giving that bad habit a cool sounding name. I am an evening person. There's a Sikh thought that if one has to pay for a cup of tea with $100 bill, and though there is plenty of change returned, it feels like a sad devaluation of a large bill. Sikhs are rather frugal with their money. Similarly, if dawn is frittered away by laziness or tiredness, then the whole day feels devalued. There are, of course, those amongst us who work nights. For them, dawn means precious sleep. For them, Amritvela means that period in a 24-hour cycle when they are completely rested and at their most creative. There are creative people who can work late into the night, but are truly unable to get up before the sun comes up. Nevertheless, Sikh tradition is that Amritvela is that period just before the sun comes up. Happiness is a change of attitude, and by changing one's sleeping pattern to early nights and fresh mornings, one is perhaps heading in the right direction. Most successful people I know and have read about, except those who earn their living by running nightclubs or having to stay up nights to watch global market fluctuations, get up early and work up to a couple of hours before the sun comes up. They then get full satisfaction by optimizing the day. A Sikh is expected to wake up before the sun comes up, complete his morning ablutions, and then spend some time, at least half an hour, reading the Sikh morning prayers and doing Naam Simrat. It is like charging up one's spiritual batteries to create a positive, vibrant, and upbeat aura around one for the rest of the day. So in general, a Sikh should get up about 1 hour before the sun comes up to create a morning routine which nourishes the body, mind, and spirit for the day. There are certain sections of the faithful who advocate more time, up to 3 hours before dawn. But in general, in this day and age, half an hour of spiritual exercise is the norm. There are certain passages from the Guru Granth Sahib espousing the virtues of Amritvela. I'll go through them. Page 255. Chalake ut naam jap, nis basur arad, Karha tujhe na byapai, Nanak mite upad. Rise early in the morning and chant the name, hence invoking a greater presence of his existence for the rest of the day. Page 1099. Prabhate prab naam japa, Gur ka charn tyai. In the early hours of the morning, chant the Naam and meditate at the feet of the Guru. Page 1383. Frida pichal raat na jagai, jeev dade moyoi. Farid, if you do not awaken in the latter part of the night before dawn, you are the living dead. Page 1285. Papiha Amritvela bolya, Tandar suni pukar. A very favorite line of mine. Papiha Amritvela bolya, Tandar suni pukar, Tandar suni pukar, Papiha Amritvela bolya. It reminds me of Ragi Nirmal Singh, who passed away about 2 weeks ago because of coronavirus. This is his bandish, his melody. The rainbird chirps in the ambrosial hours of the dawn. Its prayers are heard in the court of the Lord. And the last quote about dawn. Chauthe pehar sabah ke surtya upja chao, tina dariyawa syo dosti man mach sacha now. In the fourth watch of the early morning hours, a longing arises in their higher consciousness. They are tuned to the river of life. The true Naam is on their minds and on their lips. The Sikh day is broken up into 8 quarters, 4 at night and 4 in the day. In bygone times, sentries, soldiers, took 3-hour watches, peher. A 3-hour watch is called a peher. The fourth watch of the night is therefore the period between 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. In modern times, that is perhaps for the Puritans. I have always felt and was brought up such by my fairly strict parents to rise at least 1 hour before sunrise to carry out my morning ablutions. But if you want to be true to what the life philosophy says, then you should be getting up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Bit difficult in this day and age. If you can, make the most of the early morning when the rest of the environment sleeps, which means that the energy that pervades within around you, Vaheguru, is the most receptive to your needs and aspirations. Like they say in Western terms, put it out there. If you want to put it out there when the elements are listening to you, and that is Amritvela. Next section, Anand. I think this is the last section here. Anand. In simple terms, bliss. Anand is a state of equipoise, to live in a state of bliss. There's a 40 stanza poem in Gurbani, 6 scriptures, called Anand Sahib, the Psalm of Bliss. Bliss has been variously described as gladness, enjoyment, perfect joy, blessedness, a state of being in heaven, great happiness, ecstasy, and so on. The Sikh view of Anand is a slight variation from all these descriptions of bliss. Anand, Anand sabko ka hai, Anand Guru te janiye. Page 917. Bliss, bliss. Everyone talks of bliss, but bliss is only known through the Guru. The description of bliss so far has a downside. The opposite of bliss, perhaps a state of despair. In fact, Anand is a state where there is no happiness, nor despair, nor sadness. It is a state of serene acceptance of law, the divine law. The bliss, Anand, this particular poem describes is a state of bliss which does not have a downside. Coupled with Chardikala, one can stay in a perpetual state of bliss, a state of equipoise. Borrowing from the English translations of the Anand Sahib, let me attempt a description. Bliss, Anand, is only reached if one is in a state of greater awareness of the present moment, a state of godliness, or in a state of total gratitude for this wonderful gift of life. There is pain and suffering all around, but there is also a protective layer of soothing, pleasant calmness. It is described as a continuous, cool breeze in the overpowering, humid, stifling heat of the midsummer day. No worldly happiness or pleasure is comparable to this bliss, and no worldly sorrows and affliction can unbalance and shake it, because once submerged in this bliss, one completely transcends all pleasant and unpleasant dimensions of living experience. It does not diminish in adversity. It is perpetual in all ups and downs of life. Anand transcends pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. Such a person is not only at peace with himself, herself, but also radiates that peace and bliss. Anand is a place of peaceful existence and a place where you can experience internal joy from Maya. Maya, roughly translated, materialism, worldliness. You will find internal detachment from materialism and even from friends and family. But this state is not a loveless state. In fact, this state compounds the love you feel for all those around you. Internal detachment from Maya increases attachment to the source, Vaheguru. Vaheguru is the fountain of love. Hence, once you are tapped into the source of love, your love for those around you intensifies. You become the epitome of love, and those around you will feel the divine love that now emanates from you. All that has happened is that if, for example, a loved one moves away from you, you are emotionally less affected than if you had an overwhelming attachment, moh it is called, to that person. You are immediately able to rationalize that sometimes close ones need to move away to find their own direction or space, or move away forever. Materially, if you lose everything in a business deal, for example, you are able to shake the loss off immediately, rationalizing that nothing belongs to you in the first place anyway. And if your possessions have been taken away, then that is the way it was meant to be. That is the acceptance of the will of God, Hukam. You are then able to move on, perhaps to greater and better things. Such a state is reached with constant awareness of the source of all reality, Vaheguru. Mindful meditation helps one to realize that if our whole existence and even destiny is in the hands of Vaheguru, then why should we mortals worry about our existence? If He is the giver, then He is also the taker. So we enjoy whatever bounty He bestows upon us with gay abandon and detachment, with the full knowledge that nothing really belongs to us. I use gay in the happy sense here, by the way. If the taxman does not take it away from us, we leave it all behind when we pass away anyway. This is a fundamental law of this life in human form. Others find it rewarding being in the company of such a person who radiates Anand. Here again, some more random passages from Guru Granth Sahib, which say that it is joyful to be in the company of one who is Godward, Gurmukh, one who is in Anand. Page 289, Upjay Chau Sadh Ke Sang. There's an inner joy and a sense of well-being on meeting one who is Godward. Page 762-63. Jo disay gur sikhda, tis niv niv lage lago pai jiyo. Jo disay gur sikhda, tis niv niv lage lago pai jiyo. There is happiness in the company of a true Sikh. Page 100-369, Kabir. Kabir sangat kariye sadh ki ant kare nirbah. O Kabir, associate with those who radiate godliness. They will emancipate you in the end. page 517. Sant jana ke sang dukh mitaya. In the company of Godward people, pain and suffering is eradicated. There are numerous more. I'll just give you one more. 520. Jinna disandadaya durmat vanje mitar sadade sei. The sight of them banishes my evil-mindedness. They are my true friends. Happiness requires a quantum shift in one's outlook towards life. Besides ushering in happiness into one's life as a right, one needs to actively and consciously review prevailing habits and lifestyle to accommodate genuine happiness and also insulate oneself against depression and adversity through attaining a state of Anand. Okay, now we have an exercise. Exercise number 8, state of Anand. This is an exercise to try and describe a feeling of Anand which you can have a glimpse at. Sit upright, eyes closed, relax, breathe gently. Are you ready? Do it. Do it while I am reading this. Sit upright, eyes closed, relax, breathe gently. Hold your arms out sideways, parallel to the ground, with open palms facing up. Sideways, arms sideways. That means you hold your arms out that way, like the cross, Jesus Christ. With open palms facing up. In the right palm, hold a memory which you would consider the pinnacle of your life, an exhilarating moment which perhaps drew accolades, applause from hundreds or thousands, special joy on the birth of an offspring, taking your marriage vows, a high in your life or career. Bring that wonderful moment to the fore, savor it, place it in your right palm and dwell on it. Wallow in the accolades and adulations of everyone present. Spend some time in reliving that moment. So put this wonderful, euphoric moment on your right palm, holding your hand out sideways, open palm. It's there resting in your palm. Enjoy it, savor it. Next. Now in the left palm, hold a horrible memory. The worst moment in your life, full of embarrassment, shame, a moment you wish to erase from your mind. Bring it to the fore. Relive it. Dwell on its horribleness for a while. Feel the embarrassment, the hurt, the humiliation, the disgrace, and the ridicule from those present. Spend some time in feeling all these horrible, negative, embarrassing emotions. Feel terrible. Feel bad. Feel terrible about yourself. Now, switch to the right palm again, spending a little less time than the first round, and then switch to your left palm and do the same. Highs and exhilaration on the right palm, and lows and feeling terrible on the left palm. Just keep switching. Meanwhile, as you switch from one palm to the other, bring your arms closer to each other in front of you, slowly. Move each palm close to the middle as you dwell on each. Slowly, bring them closer. Bring the palms closer and closer, switching the emotions from one to the other. You are now dwelling on two completely opposite emotions, switching from one to the other as your hands get closer. The emotions mix: anger, shame, embarrassment, to exhilaration, joy, happiness, ecstasy, and back. Now bring your palms together in a loud clap. Bang! Freeze. What is the emotion you feel as you cut out one with the other? Extreme happiness or the deepest of despair does not affect you anymore. You are in a neutral ground now. This is the state of Anand that I believe Sikh philosophy talks about. A state of equipoise, a state of blissful balance. You are able to accept the good and the bad in the same frame of mind. The word behind this is stoic. The lesson here is that happiness as we know it has a downside, sadness, but Anand does not. Being in Anand is a difficult proposition, but at least the knowledge that something like that does exist can be a spur to stay in an upbeat state at all times, even through rough times. If the life philosophy I adhere to, Sikhi, was to be described in one word, it would be truth, or the search of truth. The ultimate realization in the pursuit of truth is the reality of Vaheguru, and this life being a close second, an illusion. It is transitory. Where there is birth, there is death. Bliss is understanding and accepting that as the ultimate truth. Life as we know it in this form then takes on an intensity with a deep-set love for all and everything around you, yet in a state of internal detachment. A final reminder, true bliss only comes with His grace, Guru Prasad. Our task is to keep making these attempts besides changing our outlook to life and towards that entity, Vaheguru, one of love, gratitude, and ever remembrance. When He, Vaheguru, so wills it, Anand will descend upon you. We will explore the mysteries of simple meditation, the passage towards God, and also meditation pertinent to my way of life in following chapters. Vaheguru. So that is the end of the chapter on Chardikala, also on, what was the second one? Amritvela and Anand. While I was reading this, especially about equipoise, I suddenly remembered a Shabad. Now, I'm going to sing that Shabad tomorrow. Okay? That Shabad about equipoise, because I think it's very important to understand what Anand, Sahajavastha, being in a state of Anand, what does that mean? That is tomorrow. And I'm excited about tomorrow because my daughter is planning something which I'm still a little bit vague about, because it happens to be my birthday. It is Vaisakhi, and in my heart it is also the birth of Baba Nanak. A lot of things. And the Sikhs' official day of celebration of Vaisakhi is 14th. So it gives us the opportunity of having a glimpse. And if you want to know more about Vaisakhi, like I said, listen to some of the other portals, especially SikhNet. Another wonderful organization in Malaysia which is backing all this is Asia Samachar. Asia Samachar. So they are also doing their bit for the southeast region of Asia Pacific Rim. And so that will be ongoing for the next few days. My one desire for everyone for this Vaisakhi, as I mentioned to Asia Samachar and also to Guru Kai and Guru Mastak and Harijot in SikhNet, is let every Sikh be able to make deg. And my daughter will do a special clip tomorrow, where she will do a demonstration of how deg is made and how deg becomes Kada Prasad, and then the remains become Kaphe. So it is my own amusing way of explaining what this sacred offering of the gods is where Sikh is concerned. That will be all done tomorrow, and I will also be doing Chaupaida part. With due forgiveness from those who believe in the long chaupai, I'm a simple person. I'm a minimalist. I do the short chaupai, but again, I do it as much love as I can. The chaupai that I do in Reharas. And are we still reading another chapter tomorrow as well?
Yeah, we'll do that after that.
Initially, at noon Melbourne time, we will go through and do that Shabad, and we'll do chaupai, and we'll do an Ardas, and my whole family will have deg and all that as well. And immediately after that, I'll read the next chapter, which is chapter
9.
8,
8. Sorry.
which is Meditation Magic for Happiness. That will be the next chapter that we'll read tomorrow after doing a short smargam. I'll also like to make mention that I had contact from this wonderful young man from Jakarta, Indonesia, who has asked me do something special. I said, Beta, why don't you just join in with us? I was in Jakarta last year, and unfortunately it was a great time I had, but I lost two great friends, two of the luminaries, Sikh luminaries of Indonesia. One was Sardar Balwant Singh, the other one was they used to call him Pa Dillon. And this young man, just out of his teens, is Prem Singh, who is playing a very significant part in the Sangat in Jakarta. In fact, he has managed to get one of my younger brothers from Malaysia, Ragi Gurmukh. There are a lot of Gurmukhs, but he's the one I very fondly call. Ragi Gurmukh has agreed to do a special program for them because unfortunately most of them either speak in Bahasa, dan saya punya bahasa sudah lupa sekarang. So I can only speak very little Bahasa. Malay language, Malaysian language and Indonesian language is very similar. So, but I'm sure Gurmukh will do that. I will continue as I am, so hopefully we will have the Jakarta Sangat also joining us for the program tomorrow. So having said that, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to add, Bata?
It's Jesse's daughter Simran's birthday today.
Oh!
And so we want to make special mention.
Today, is it?
Today.
Well,
So
happy birthday, Beta. Blessings. Wow, so close to Vaisakhi. Consider yourself a Vaisakhi child. This is a blessing from Guruji. So happy birthday, and maybe we'll celebrate it again tomorrow.
yeah.
And the day after as well. Why not? The more the merrier. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Keep sending in your comments. Again, specific questions, I will answer them. But what a wonderful feeling. Love you all. If you can't go out, go in. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.